building in Richmond. Doctors say it looks like Barbara Perez has Legionnaires' disease. They're basing their diagnosis on her symptoms and medical history. The diagnosis comes one day after confirmation that one of her co-workers at the Social Security Administration building died of the disease. Fortunately, Perez is not in danger. Doctors say her prognosis is excellent. A total of 12 people in the Richmond building have contracted the mysterious pneumonia. Yesterday, the government took steps and closed down the building to investigate. Les Trent has been following the story. We join him live now outside the Western Program Service Center in Richmond. Les.
Ross, it is anything but business as usual in the building behind me. You'll recall all the 1,200 employees here were sent home yesterday as health officials began inspecting this building. A health survey center has been set up a few blocks away from here at 217 Harbor Way to answer any health questions that workers may have. We're going to give you the phone number for that center in just a minute. But first, an update on what's happening inside of this building today. The Social Security Service Center in Richmond is empty today, save for a few dozen health inspectors.
Yes, right now we have about 35 various health officials in the building. They're from federal OSHA, Cal OSHA, the county health department. We have some people that arrived from Baltimore who are very familiar with our what we call our HVAC system, the air conditioning and heating and ventilation system.
The health officials are coordinating tests to be conducted today and tomorrow as they search for the possible presence of the Legionella bacteria, which are sometimes present in the air and water in ventilation systems. The tests having added significance today after it was learned yesterday that a female janitor who died this week had contracted Legionnaires' disease. She was one of several people here to come down with pneumonia since April.
We got to find the results of testing. And I think a number of physicians have mentioned that one case does not necessarily indict a whole building. However, there are other people being tested, and we want to find the site. I won't be satisfied unless I know they've located it somewhere. We know there tends to be a clustering in the basement, and I think it's the 3rd floor.
And if the union is not satisfied, it said it does not want any of its members back inside of this building. It doesn't want any of its members back to work unless it finds out definitively what caused the illnesses here. Again, health investigators are now going on the assumption that it is indeed something inside this building that made workers sick, and they will be looking for the Legionella bacteria in the air conditioning and the ventilation system here. I'm Les Trent reporting live from Richmond.
Les, I got a quote here from a union shop steward. Says something is very wrong here. There is a lot going on that they are not telling us. Have you heard? I guess you probably have heard some rumblings like that around there.
We've heard rumblings from the union that this building has been a sick building. The ventilation system has not worked properly since the building was built back in 1974. We have heard from workers who said that some of their co-workers have gotten sick over the years and that they do believe it has something to do with the ventilation system here. So that could be something that they're talking about. But again, the tests are going on inside the building right now, and we can't make too many assumptions, but you have one person who has died who had the Legionella bacteria. You have a woman who is hospitalized right now. Her doctor says it looks very likely that she is suffering from Legionnaires' disease. So the union believes that there is a very strong possibility that there is something wrong with this ventilation system. They don't want their workers back in there until the Legionella bacteria is found. They want to pinpoint it precisely and have this building completely cleaned up before they allow the members to go back to work.
All right, thank you, Les.
The health problems in Richmond may have you wondering, could your office building make you sick? Today, Len Ramirez toured this typical office building near San Jose Airport. The building here has no problems with its ventilation system. As Len found out, that's because it has an elaborate system designed to make sure the air indoors is always safe to breathe.
This building's about 10 years old, and it has a fairly typical air conditioning system for
Scott Morris is the chief engineer for a San Jose building management company. If you work in a modern office building, the air you breathe every day might come through a system similar to what you're about to see. It all starts up on the roof.
All the fresh air that goes into the building comes in through here.
This is what it looks like from the other side. The fresh air comes down this chamber and is blown through a series of filters, which trap most of the dust and dirt in the air.
Why is it so windy in here?
Because we're bringing in, this is all the supply air being distributed throughout this entire 6-story building is coming through this space.
On the other side of the air filters is a wall of water-filled coils. The air is chilled as it runs through the coils, but the air and water never mix unless there's a leak in the system. A powerful fan then blows the cool air through a series of ducts and down into the offices below.
This would be a typical office, and what we saw above with a supply air fan eventually ends up here in a supply air grill into the office. Then the air that's from this office being returned back to the system would go back out through a grill like this. This is the return air grill.
Sometimes the air is exhausted out the building, other times it's recirculated over and over again. Because most modern office buildings have sealed windows, it's important to keep the system clean and free of water condensation and leaks to prevent the spread of waterborne bacteria like Legionella.
Housekeeping is the primary one, changing the filters, making sure the overall cleanliness of the system is that. This building's getting to the point that in another couple of years it'll probably be time to go through and clean the entire duct system.
And so cleanliness can mean the difference between a sick building and a healthy workplace. In San Jose, Len Ramirez, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
You may be wondering why most modern office buildings have sealed windows. Building designers say that type of window is the most energy efficient, and it helps keep a constant, comfortable temperature inside regardless of the weather outside.